I want to start today with a question that is probably going to sound a little strange, maybe even a little impossible, but just bear with me. If I asked you to close your eyes right now and visualize your soul, what do you actually see?
Wow.
But seriously, think about it. Do you see a ghost? Or maybe a little spark of light? A cloud? It's one of those concepts we talk about constantly. We say, oh, that touches my soul, or this soup is good for the soul. But we rarely stop to actually try and look at it.
Because it's so abstract. We generally don't have a visual vocabulary for the soul. We have anatomical charts for the body, right? We have diagrams for the brain.
Exactly.
But the soul, that's usually just left to the imagination, or really vague feelings.
We are essentially visually illiterate when it comes to the core of who we are.
That's a great way to put it.
Until today. Because today, we are doing a deep dive into a source that tries to fix that exact blind spot. We are looking at a fascinating, multidisciplinary work titled Life Contained.
And this is a really unique piece of source material for us to dig into.
It really is.
We are looking at a specific piece of abstract visual art, which is accompanied by poetry.
Created by Dr. Kim S. MacKenzie. And Dr. MacKenzie has perhaps the coolest triple title I have ever seen. She is an artist-author-philosopher.
Which is a very potent combination.
Yeah.
It suggests that what we're looking at isn't just a pretty picture. And it's not just a poem. It's a philosophical argument presented through shape and color.
Like she's attacking the problem of existence from three angles all at once.
Exactly. And this specific work comes from her book, Beauty Within the Art of Soul.
So here is our mission for this deep dive. We are going to unpack this single piece of abstract art and one incredibly dense, potent line of text that comes right alongside it. We're going to try to understand Dr. MacKenzie's definition of the soul as and quote, unique life force witnesser.
It's a phrase that totally stopped me in my tracks the first time I read it. Life force witnesser.
Same here.
There is so much packed into those three words. It frames the human experience in a way that is distinct from biology and, frankly, distinct from theology, too.
Yeah, it sits right in the middle.
It really might shift how you view your morning commute or even just your coffee break.
I love that. We have to start by setting the scene for you. We need to describe this artwork, Life Contained, so you can see it in your mind's eye. When you first looked at this image, what was the first thing that hit you?
Oh, the color temperature. Absolutely the color.
Yeah.
The entire background is this wash of vibrant, almost electric purple.
It's very mystical.
It is, but let's push past just mystical. Purple often has those connotations of spirituality or royalty or the subconscious. But here, it feels more like the ether.
The ether. I like that.
It feels like the actual space where existence happens. It's not a dark, empty void. It's bright, it's alive. It suggests that the environment the soul inhabits is highly charged.
So it's definitely not a vacuum. And floating in this purple space, we have three distinct elements. Let's talk about the big one first, the container.
Right. Dominating the left side of the image is this really large reddish-pink form.
How would you describe the shape?
Well, it's roughly rectangular, standing upright. But if I say rectangle, you probably imagine sharp corners and perfectly straight lines.
Yeah.
Like a brick.
Yeah, something rigid.
Right, but this isn't that. The edges are soft, they're uneven, it's outlined in white, and it feels very organic.
It looks almost like a cell under a microscope to me. Or maybe a stone that's been worn down by a river for 1,000 years. It has a real history to it.
That's a great observation.
But inside this red shape, there's all this geometry. We see these little red squares and triangles floating around in the upper half.
And then, in the lower half, there's this fascinating pattern of concentric squares. A square within a square within a square.
That part really drew me in. It feels like a tunnel.
Exactly. It suggests incredible depth. It suggests looking inward.
Which ties perfectly into the title.
Yes. If you think about the title, Life Contained, and you look at those concentric squares, it feels like we're looking directly into the layers of a self.
Wow.
It's not just a flat, two-dimensional surface. There is a deep interiority there.
It's like looking down a long hallway into a room you haven't visited in a while.
Or gazing into the subconscious. It implies that the container, whether we interpret that as the body or the mind, isn't just hollow. It is complex structure all the way down to the core.
Okay, so we have this red, highly structured, inward-looking container, but standing right next to it on the right side is something completely different.
The life force element.
Yes.
Describe this one for us. It's a tall, slender, very vertical shape. It reminds me a bit of a feather or a leaf or maybe even a beam of focused light.
Like a laser almost.
Exactly. And unlike the earthy, grounded red container, the interior of this shape is glowing green.
Really pops against that purple background.
It really does. And if we think about color psychology for a second, green is almost always associated with vitality. It's growth. It's photosynthesis.
It's nature saying go.
Standing next to that reddish container, this green spire feels like the active energy source.
Yeah.
It feels like the battery.
And holding it all together down at the very bottom of the image is this single curved red line. It looks at a boat or a cradle, honestly, maybe even a smile.
It totally cradles the empty space beneath those two main shapes. To me, that really suggests a vessel.
Of a vessel.
Or perhaps a foundation. It's the idea that all of these discrete elements, the container, the energy, the space itself, are held by something. They aren't just drifting apart into the void.
So visually, we have this tension. We have the structured geometric container on one side and this glowing, organic, vertical energy on the other, all floating in a purple void. It's abstract, but it feels so balanced.
It feels like a functional system. And I think that's exactly what Dr. MacKenzie is getting at here. She isn't just painting pretty shapes. She is diagramming the actual architecture of being human.
Which brings us directly to the text, because Dr. MacKenzie pairs this image with a specific line of poetry that acts as a sort of key to unlock the whole thing.
Right. Let's look at the line. It reads, "Our soul is like a signature, a unique life force witnesser."
Our soul is like a signature. I want to stop right there for a second. That is such a cool metaphor.
It is. But why do you think she chose signature specifically? Why not fingerprint or snowflake?
Well, a fingerprint is entirely biological, right? You're
Yeah.
just born with it. But a signature, you create that. It's an act of will.
That is a crucial distinction. A signature is an authorization. It's an intentional identity marker that you put out into the world. And it is irrefutably unique. Even if you try to forge someone else's signature, you can't get the pressure, the speed, the flow exactly right.
The hesitations, the flourishes.
Exactly. A signature is the mark that only you can make.
So if the soul is a signature, Dr. MacKenzie is essentially saying that our very existence is a unique autograph on the universe.
Precisely. It validates our authenticity. In a world where we are so often treated as just data points or demographics.
Oh, like males aged 18 to 35.
Right, exactly. This metaphor pushes back against all of that. It says, no, the core of who you are is a completely non-reproducible mark.
And if we look back at the art, that really tracks. The lines in the painting, like the white outlines of the red container and the green spire, they aren't perfect, straight, computer-generated lines.
Not at all.
They look almost stitched. They look hand-drawn.
They waver a bit. They have real texture.
Exactly. They have a human touch, just like the signature. It's not machine perfect, and I think that's the entire point. The imperfection is the actual proof of life.
That's beautifully put.
If those lines were perfect digital vectors, the soul of the piece would be gone.
I think that's a fantastic connection. The art completely reinforces the text. The vessel of your life, that red container, isn't some factory-made box. It's hand-stitched. It is custom-made.
But then we get to the second half of that sentence. And this is where I think the real philosophical heavy lifting happens in this deep dive.
The phrase, a unique life force witnesser.
Okay, let's break this down piece by piece. Life force and witnesser. Two very different things combined into one single concept.
Let's start with life force. We saw that in the art, right? That glowing green vertical shape we talked about.
The battery.
Life force is the raw energy that animates us. It's the biological drive. It's the spark that makes the heart beat and the neurons fire. It's the sheer aliveness of the creature.
But if we were just life force, we'd be, what, like a plant? Or maybe a machine that's just plugged into the wall?
We'd be a biological process. We'd be doing, but not necessarily being. We would be engines running without a driver. And that is exactly why the next word is the massive game changer here, witnesser.
Witnesser, not doer, not achiever.
This is the crux of the whole philosophy, I think, this specific distinction. A witnesser implies consciousness. It implies observation.
Wow.
The soul isn't just the fuel in the tank. The soul is the entity actually watching the scenery go by.
It reminds me of being an audience member.
Yes, I like that analogy. Think of the body, that red container in the image, as the stage. The thoughts, the emotions, the digestion, the physical movement, that's the play. That's the life force in action.
Okay, I'm with you.
But the soul is the one sitting quietly in the front row, watching it all happen.
But it makes so much sense. It's that feeling when you're really, really angry or maybe really sad, and there's a tiny part of you in the back of your mind that goes, wow, I am really angry right now.
Exactly. That little part in the back of your mind, that is the witnesser. That is the soul. It's the part of you that is actively aware of you.
It creates a sense of distance. If I am the witnesser, then I am not the anger itself. I am the one seeing the anger.
Correct. And that is a profound shift in perspective. It separates your core essence from your temporary emotional state. The life force might be absolutely raging, but the witnesser is steady.
So when Dr. MacKenzie calls the soul a life force witnesser, she's marrying those two things together, the energy that allows us to live and the consciousness that lets us know we are living.
And notice how perfectly that connects back to the title of the piece, Life Contained.
Yeah, let's talk about that word contained, because honestly, usually when I hear the word contained, I instantly think of being limited.
Sure.
I think of being trapped, like containment breach.
Yeah.
You know? It sounds very restrictive.
It can definitely have a negative connotation, especially in our modern culture of limitless potential and always hustling. But look at the art again. Does that red shape look as a prison to you?
No, it looks soft. It looks almost like a womb or a sanctuary. And the little squares inside look like safe rooms.
Exactly. I think Dr. MacKenzie is using contained in the sense of a necessary vessel. Think about water.
Okay.
Without a container, water just spills all over the ground, it spreads out, and it evaporates. It needs a cup to actually be useful.
So the body, or our timeline here on Earth, is the container.
Right. And the witnesser, the soul, needs that container to actually have something to witness. If you didn't have a body, you wouldn't feel the warmth of the sun on your skin.
You wouldn't feel the frustration of sitting in traffic.
Right. You wouldn't taste your morning coffee.
The signature needs paper to be written on.
Exactly. The contained aspect isn't a trap at all. It's the canvas. It's the medium. The soul is the signature written onto the container of your life.
That reframes things completely for me. It stops me from feeling like my body is just this annoying meat suit I'm stuck dragging around and starts making it feel like necessary equipment.
Yes.
Like the scuba gear for the soul to dive down into reality.
That's a fantastic analogy. And it brings us to a really interesting synthesis of the whole piece. Because when you look at the artwork as a whole, you see these distinct elements. The red box, the green glow, the purple space.
Yeah.
They're totally separate, but they create one unified image.
They need each other to exist.
And Dr. MacKenzie's work suggests that true beauty, remember the book is called Beauty Within, comes from recognizing this exact structure.
Okay, let me see if I have this right. You are a container, which is the body, holding a unique energy, which is the life force. And all of it is observed by a conscious self, the witnesser.
It's a trinity: body, energy, observer.
When you truly understand that, it has to change how you move through the world. It changes the metrics of what makes a good day.
Tell me what you mean by that.
Well, think about the immense pressure we put on ourselves every single day. We feel like we constantly have to be something. We have to be successful or famous or super productive. We have to optimize our routines. We treat our life force like it's just fuel that has to be burned for profit.
Yes, exactly. If I'm not optimizing my time, I'm failing. If I sit on the couch for an hour, I feel incredibly guilty.
But if your soul is simply a witnesser, then your primary job isn't to optimize everything. Your primary job is just to pay attention.
Oh, wow. That is powerful.
It removes the pressure entirely. You don't need to fundamentally change your signature. You just need to write it.
You don't need to direct the play. You just need to sit in the audience and watch it.
Right. It validates the simple act of just existing and perceiving.
That is actually huge, because it means that a day where you quote unquote do nothing, maybe you just sit on your back porch and watch it rain for an hour, that's not a wasted day at all.
Not at all. In fact, it might be the most productive day possible for the soul.
Because your witnesser was fully active.
Yes.
You were observing the rain.
Yeah.
You were feeling the dampness in the air. Your soul was doing exactly what it was designed to do.
From the perspective of the life force witnesser, a quiet moment is just as rich as a loud, busy one. Maybe even richer, because you are fully present. You are actively signing your name on that specific moment in time.
It really connects back to that green vertical shape in the art, the vitality.
Yeah.
It's standing tall. It's not frantically rushing around the canvas trying to accomplish things. It's just standing there glowing.
It is radiating.
Yeah.
And I think that's the real aha moment here. Vitality isn't about speed or productivity. It's about the intensity of your presence. It's about how brightly that green light glows.
It makes me think about pain too, or grief.
Oh, really? How do you mean?
Well, if I'm just a life force, then pain is strictly bad. It's damage to the system.
Right, it's a malfunction.
But if I'm the witnesser, pain is just, it's dramatic. It's a very intense, deeply moving scene in the play.
That is a very stoic and honestly very powerful way to look at it. The witnesser can observe the pain without being completely destroyed by it.
Exactly. The red container holds the pain, the green energy keeps you standing upright, and the witnesser simply acknowledges it. It allows you to go through incredibly hard things without ever losing your signature.
It's funny, we started this deep dive by looking at a purple rectangle and a green line, and we've somehow ended up redefining the entire purpose of daily life.
That is the power of true art, and specifically the power of Dr. MacKenzie's approach as an artist-author-philosopher. She uses the visual medium to bypass our intellectual defenses. If she just wrote a dry philosophical essay telling us to be present, we'd nod our heads and move on. We've heard it a million times.
Right, mindfulness, stay in the moment, yeah.
But by showing us the container and the life force as these vibrant, hand-stitched shapes, it sticks in the mind. It gives us a tangible mental model.
It really does stick. I can clearly see that red shape with the squares inside. I can genuinely picture my own inner squares now.
And that's the ultimate goal here, to give us a working visual vocabulary for the invisible parts of ourselves. So when you feel totally scattered, you can mentally look at that green spire and ask yourself, is my light actually on right now?
So let's quickly recap where we've been on this journey today. We started with the artwork Life Contained, a really vibrant mix of ether, purple, organic red, and neon green.
Right.
We analyzed the core shapes, the red container representing the self or the body, the green spire representing our vitality, and that bottom curve representing the foundational vessel.
We then connected all of that visual data to the poetry. Our soul is like a signature, a unique life force witnesser.
And we realized that signature means we are irrefutably unique. No two souls are ever the same.
And we really drilled down into the concept of the witnesser, the profound idea that the soul is the conscious observer of our life, not just the battery powering the machine.
And finally, we realized that being contained isn't a limitation at all. It's the necessary, beautiful structure that allows the soul to actually experience the physical world.
It's a massive paradigm shift from doing to being, from merely surviving your life to actively witnessing it.
It's a message I think we all desperately need to hear right now. We live in a world of intense standardization. Algorithms literally tell us what to watch, what to buy, even who we should date.
Everything is hyper-optimized for efficiency and sameness.
Exactly. It's so easy to feel like just another cog in a giant machine.
But Dr. MacKenzie's philosophy acts as a circuit breaker for all of that. It reminds you that you are not a cog. You are a signature.
You are a totally unique event in the history of the universe.
And your specific perspective, what you see, what you feel, what you witness, has never happened before and will never happen again. That has profound, immeasurable value.
It really does. It makes me want to look at the world just a little bit closer today.
Which is the absolute best possible outcome of engaging with great art. It wakes you up to your own life.
It absolutely does. So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought. We spent a lot of time talking about the soul as the witnesser, the audience member of your life.
The one quietly watching the play unfold.
Right. So here's the question for you. If your soul is the active witness to your life and it's watching everything you do today, what is one thing you want to make sure it sees?
Oh, I love that.
Don't just let the day happen to you. Give your witnesser something beautiful or true or exceptionally kind to look at. Make your signature count.
Beautifully put.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today. We'll catch you on the next one.
Take care, everyone.